Congratulations on the win tonight and in the tie. I'll just start off. We wouldn't mind just giving us your overall thoughts on the game, how you felt like your team played this evening.
Well, the team started off a little fatigued. I don't know if it was physical or mental, but we certainly had a stretch of road games because of the preparations at Lumen for the World Cup. But again, they responded. We took an early goal, and then we kind of solidified things a little bit. And then at the start of the second half, I'm always kind of a conservative coach. I wanted the guys to start the game and see if they can, impact the game. After we made some adjustments in the second half, we changed the way we defended a little bit. And it was okay, but the three guys that came on first made a real impact. Paul Rothrock, Danny Masowski, and Peter Kingston, they came on and did a good job, and then Nicola came on and obviously, did a nice job there as well. But, I credit the three guys coming in to make an impact. What I told the team at halftime, which is kind of our mantra, is, guys are fatigued and tired, but the expectation of this team is that the players that start the game will run for as hard as they can for as long as they can, knowing with confidence that if they get tired, then the next guy's going to jump on the field and do the exact same thing. Run for as hard as they can, for as long as they can, as smart as they can, and that's what makes a cohesive team, and that is one of the calling cards of this particular group. I think you started to see some of it last year. That's a tight group, and they all play for each other, and I actually really enjoy that.
Thank you for that. We'll start with questions here in the room, and then we'll transition over to Zoom after that.
Yeah, one of those subs that came in was Peter Kingston, as a player who I guess technically is still not on a full-time contract. What did you see from him? He had a pretty impressive, maybe 2 assists in this one.
2 assists. It's not just the assists, Jeremiah. I mean, the kid puts everything into the game. So where he is in our ecosystem, I hate that corporate word, but where he fits, how he does, I'll talk to Adrian, I'll talk to Craig. We'll find a spot for him. He gives everything. Tonight he made plays. The other day against San Jose, he made plays. So we'll have to figure that out. But, he made some plays tonight that were critical for us to have a win, not just a draw, but a win, which sets us up in a good way when we move further in this tournament. 1-1 would have been fun. Look, if we lost 1-0, we would have gone through, but that's not the best result. 1-1, when we got the 1-1, okay, fine. But then at 1-1, for him to run in behind and play that ball across, for Paul to, Masowski almost got 2. And then Paul coming into the back post. To get to 2-1 really sets us up in a good way.
Coach, to keep talking about the substitutions, obviously the game got a little bit sloppy. You felt like it needed a little bit of that spark plug, and Paul Rothrock comes in and does that for your team. Can you talk about his performance, and then does Danny Masowski scoring make your job even harder when it comes to that 9 position?
Well, for sure, because Danny came on and did what he did last year, which was put himself in front of the goal. So he's a natural kind of instinctual goal scorer. He needs service, of course, and that's what Peter provided, but that's Danny. We saw that goal from Danny a lot last year, 18 times. As far as Paul Rothrock is concerned, I mean, he's on a roll. I mean, 3 goals, 3 games, 4 on total for the year. Whether he starts, whether he comes on. First game against Colorado when Jordan goes down, I mean, Paul is really, playing at a high level.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. First of all, kind of just want to shift things over to the venue side of things. How did this kind of, quote unquote, home away from home feel? How did the fans feel? And how close did this different venue, albeit in the same state field, to Lumen Field? Thank you.
So, obviously it's a little smaller, but it was loud. And I appreciated all of the Sounder fans that were in the building. The eastern side of this state is a good soccer community. Again, I remember going back years ago, we used to play games in Yakima, exhibition games when we were at the USL, and they were well-attended matches and everything. The Reign are coming here to play some of their home games. This is a great venue, and people in Spokane were treated tonight with a good performance, a good game. They'll get more games when the Reign come. I mean, it's a nice little stadium, and I'm super excited for the growth of soccer in this country. On a bigger scale, it's the World Cup, and then MLS, but then you've got franchises like this that are coming and putting in a really good, nice stadium, and the feel, the atmosphere, everything was tremendous tonight. The proximity, players to the fans, it makes it feel intimate. And one of the things I've always said was that the Sounders are the relationship between the players and the fans. And the fans tonight were super happy. Players were thankful that a lot of people showed up and watched them play. And I think that was one of the things that, kept them going.
Okay, we'll do one more here in the room, and then we'll switch over to questions on Zoom.
Hey Coach, congrats on the win. I just wanted to get your reaction and just how it feels to move on in this tournament.
Well, moving on with 6 points, that's critical. But look, that's an experienced group. I know there were some young kids that played big roles, but we have an experienced team in these types of competitions. I'll remind everybody that we're the only team that has won this competition. Vancouver came close last year. Cruz Azul is a very good team, okay? But we're the only ones that have done it. Other teams have been close, and even going back to when Zig was a coach, we'd always done well in these competitions. I think that's just part of the winning tradition of this club.
Sorry, one more question here in the room before we switch over to Zoom.
Yeah, you mentioned the Reign are going to be playing here. Do you have any sort of messages for the fans that are going to be able to see 3 more high-level soccer games out
I'm
here?
gonna call Laura first and make sure she's prepared for a little bit narrow field, but the turf is good, and I'll give her the rundown. And then as far as the fans are concerned, I mean, they're gonna see top soccer. They saw some top men's soccer tonight, and they should come and support the Reign, because the Reign are a good team. I mean, that's a good team with a bunch of good young players, so I'm hopeful that the people come out and support them as well.
Okay, we'll switch over to questions on Zoom. I see one from Kasim Ali. Kasim, your line should be open. Go ahead.
Hey Coach, congrats on the win. This is the 4th straight road win for you guys, and also the 4th straight time you've had the ball for 40% or less of the game. What do you kind of make of that trend? I know we talked about possession being so big on the road. Had it 40% or less again tonight. What do you make of that?
Let's deal with stats, because look, I can appreciate stats, and the modern game is stats, data, all that sort of stuff is important, but how games play out, it's still sports. So the game against San Jose tonight, we were at home, but we had a 3-0 lead. The first home game against Colorado, there's score lines, there's different reasons for 40% or 60-40, 55-45. There's a lot of reasons for all of that sort of stuff. I think when we play, we always try and come out on the front foot. We always try and dictate tempo. We always try and score the early goal or the first goal. That's key. That's the key message. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. It doesn't manifest itself. I knew Jesper was going to have his team ready. He's a very, very top coach. That's a good franchise. And so, yeah, we were going to be under it. We were going to be under pressure just because the nature of 3-0, they were going to come out. Now, had Albert scored that first goal in the first minute of the game, maybe that changes some of their momentum, but again, that's sports.
All right, we'll do 2 more questions on Zoom. We'll go Nico Antun and then Felipe Makeda to wrap up. Nico, your line should be open. Go ahead.
Hi, Brian. Congrats on the win. Down 1-0 at halftime in the second leg. What was the atmosphere like in the locker room at that point? And from then, what do you think went well with the task of shutting down Vancouver defensively to avoid the comeback west before Moose' goal?
I wasn't happy at 1-0 down, so I laid into them a little bit at halftime. We changed the way we defended a little bit because Laborda was killing us with some long diagonals, so we tilted the field in the other direction, and I think that worked. So some of the tactical changes worked, and then the subs came on and finished the job.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll wrap up with Felipe Makeda. Felipe, your line should be open now. Go ahead.
Thank you. Coach Brian, congratulations. You talk about the defense a little bit, but I would like to know more about how are you changing or you're adjusting the system for the whole team defensively. I remember having last season some issues, and also you can tell me a little bit more of the next man up, because it seems to me that still works and works great.
So, Felipe, the defending on set pieces, we've talked a lot about. The overall defending this year has been very, very good. Again, Jackson Reagan has been very good. Alex Roldan may take Yaimar's spot, you never know. You know, and I'm only saying that because someone in the front row is Yaimar's best friend. There's a lot of different reasons for that. The entire defending has to get back to what we were in 2024. 2025, we gave up too many set piece goals and sloppy mistakes. So the concentration to close out a game like in San Jose, the concentration to not let Vancouver score the second goal, all of those things are important things that the coaches that I have talked about on film, on the field, in our meetings, just to make sure we're there. And then, Felipe, I would tell you this, that we're gonna continue to work on the offensive side of things, because, you know, when you score the first goal, an early goal like tonight, you know, if Albert scores that goal, it makes the defending a lot easier.
All right, Coach, we'll wrap up with that. Thank you again for the time.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good luck this weekend.